Welcome to Baby Theater. Today, we're actually going to tell a story. Little Red Riding Hood. Right? What? Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, that's it. So, are you ready? Okay. So Little Red Riding Hood. She basically was a little girl that lived in a village, and it was called Xavier. The village of Xavier really was kind of small. There weren't very many people in there. Maybe like a 50, 60 population kind of place. It was pretty small. But there was like a store, lots of forestry. That's really, really important. And the thing about it, so Red Riding Hood, she typically wore a red hood, a white shirt, and a red skirt. And she wore tennis shoes, believe it or not, that were basically just like some good old-fashioned New Balance. Just you gotta take care of your feet, right? I mean, that's the key, really. They're usually like red and white, People has some like that. They're like Nikes though. So actually, I think they are Nikes now I think about it. Anyway, what's cool about that is that she can trek for long miles, but she has to. She has to get to school. So anyway, Little Red Riding Hood, she was talking to her grandma, and she said, "Grandma, I'm going to go to school today. So, I will see you later." And Grandma says, "Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and do what you need to do, girl." And the thing about it is, she said one thing that's very key advice. Yeah, I'm recording. And what's really key advice is stay on the path. That's really the biggest key. If you don't stay on the path, anything can happen, right? So Little Red Riding Hood, she walks down she starts going, and Grandma says, wait, you forgot something. What did I forget, Grandma? You forgot the picnic basket I made you. So she actually gives her this picnic basket. It's like a wicker picnic basket, like a soft tan color. It's got a blanket in there. It's like a white and red striped blanket. Pretty nice. It's got some cheeses in there, some sausage. It's got some fruits. Yeah, it's got some milk. I mean, that's your favorite food right now. So anyway, Little Red Riding Hood, she says, "Thank you, Grandma. Thank you very much," because that's very important to say thank you. And she walks down. She goes down this gravel trail. It's like a gravel trail, not a dirt trail per se. It isn't like a concrete thing. It's more, but it is a trail. Okay, but forestry all around compared to the trail itself. So as she's walking along, she walks for a few miles, and then she sees her friend, Mr. Gummery. Mr. Gummery says, How do you do? Red it is, right?" She says, yes, that is me. I am Red." And he says, "Well, if it isn't you, that's great. Well, how are you doing today, Red?" And she says, "Oh, I'm doing great." And he says, "Well, listen, I have a little get-together picnic that I'm planning. And I really like you to go. And if you want, you can help me set up right now." And Little Red Riding Hood's like, "You know what? I would love to. That's actually amazing. That's a great request. But right now, I really have to head to school, right?" So she goes and she heads to school. She's like, all right. We gotta head to school. So she heads to school. When she finally gets there, the teacher's there. And her teacher's name's Teresa, by the way. And our teacher said, "Today we're going to learn about the ABCs." And, the classroom has all those little posters on, like, hang in there. And it has a little cat hanging down. And it has, like, a scorpion. And the scorpion says, sting her up. And, they have a turtle. And it says, Turtle Club, join now. And there's one more. There's a cheetah. It says, gotta go fast. Right? So, cool stuff. Cool posters. Cool posters. She's got an apple on her desk. Somebody gave her that. Trying to be the teacher's pet. Anyway, so then what happened was she said, we're going to learn about the ABCs. So she says, well, A stands for apple, right? B stands for baby, right? C stands for cat. She says, we're going to go around the room and we're going to have people pick out, a letter and say, hey, well, what letter is that, So they say, okay. So the first person's Alice. And Alice is like, D is for donkey. Okay, I guess it could be on a donkey, the teacher says. And then she said, the next person up is Simba. Simba's like, E's for egg, right? E's for egg. And the teacher's like, well, yeah, I guess it could be. Okay, yeah, E stands for egg. All right, I can get behind that. And then she gets to Alicia. And Alicia has a big smirk on her face. And she goes, F. Well, I know what F stands for. F stands for... Teacher goes ballistic. What? I can't believe you said that. Oh, my God. She says, no, don't say that, don't say that. Okay, class is canceled. So the teacher cancels class and everything, just because of that. And then, but the worst part about all of this is Red Riding Hood, she didn't get to freaking pick a letter. So she was really bummed out. So she was moping down. She's going down to the trail, right? Very upset. And she actually gets to her friend, Mr. Gummery. Mr. Gummery always wore, I did forget to mention this, always wore a purple suit with a purple bowler hat. Crazy. Pretty nice suit, too. Anyway, so she sees a familiar purple bowler hat. She's a familiar purple suit. She goes up and she says, well, hi, if it's not Mr. Gummery. And Mr. Gummery says, well, if it isn't if it isn't Red Riding Hood. Well, she says, if it isn't Alice. She says, no, actually, Mr. Gummery, you know that my name is Red Riding Hood. And Mr. Gummery's like, oh, yeah. I knew that. Red Riding Hood. Yeah. That's who you are. That's right, yes. Well, how about that picnic, right? And Red thinks something's off. But she's like, yeah, okay, we'll go and do that picnic. When suddenly, the huntsman is walking down the street. And she sees Red Riding Hood. And the huntsman says, well, if it isn't Red. And wow, Mr. Gummery, you're looking really nice today. And Mr. Gummery says, well, there it isn't the huntsman, my arch nemesis. One day I'll beat you. You're my arch nemesis. And the huntsman's like, no, Mr. Gummery, we're best friends, like we've known each other forever. And he says, well, you got me this time. But in the end, I'll get you. Right? And it was really strange. And Mr. Gummery just walks off like a dick. And, the huntsman's like, what the heck is this guy doing? This is crazy. But, Red's like, hey, you know what? I have my own picnic. Let's go ahead and have a picnic together. So they go, and then remember, the grandma said, never go off the beaten path. Okay? She said, never go off that trail. Never go in that forest. Anyway, Red went into the forest, with the huntsman, and they set up their picnic, and they ate a bunch of cheeses and fruits and everything on their little blanket, and it was a pretty nice time. It was a pretty nice time. They had this deep conversation about buffaloes. They said, well, buffaloes, man, they used to be everywhere, all over the place. And now, buffaloes they don't even exist. Can't go see a buffalo anymore. It's messed up. It was a really sad conversation. And it took them a while. It took them a long while. And it was really complex and deep. Luna, be a good girl. And so what ended up happening is, they had a great time. Why would I not walk off the beaten path, she thinks. It doesn't make sense. So she packs up her picnic. And she's on her way back. And the huntsman says, I'll see you later. She's like, yeah, I will. I'll see you too. Yep, so she gets home to Grandma. Grandma's like, not there. She's in bed. She's not there to greet her. She always goes up and greets her. Very first thing she greets her. And she says, Grandma, what's going on? Why are you in bed? She says, well, I've got a little bit of a sickness. And she says, well, Grandma, your voice is really like hoarse and coarse. Hoarse and coarse. Like a horse. And, Grandma says, well, it's because I'm sick. I mean, I got this congestion. It's in my chest. Kind of sucks. And she says, okay. And Little Red says, okay, well, that makes sense. And then she says, well, Grandma, why are your ears so big? And why are they so furry? What is going on? And Grandma's like, well, see, I went down to the dermatologist, and they said that I need to get bigger ears. So I went ahead and I had the surgery, and they're very fuzzy, so I can hear you better. And Red says, well, that makes sense. I mean, obviously. She says, well, Grandma, why the heck do you have red eyes? You've never had red eyes. And Grandma says, well, I got LASIK. I got LASIK. They got that in there. And they got me taken care of. So now I can see you better. Now I can see you better. Red says, well, that makes sense. I don't see why that wouldn't make sense. I mean, that's facts. Facts. Spitting facts. And she says, well, Grandma, though, why are your teeth so sharp? Like, it's sink. You're like, what the hell's going on with that? And just as she says that, she looks over and she sees Mr. Montgomery's hat. His purple hat. Oh my God, what does that mean? Oh, it's because he visited Grandma, and he's fine. Anyway, why are she teeth so sharp? I don't understand. And Grandma says, well, the reason why is because it's better to eat you with. And Grandma hops up and starts biting Little Red Riding Hood. Eats her all up. Nom, 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 nom. Down to the bones. And then Grandma picks her teeth with the bones. Nom, 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 nom. Look. Stop squeaking stuff. Picks the teeth with the bones. No. Delicious. But just as he did that, the huntsman walks in. And the huntsman's like, oh my God, Grandma, what's going on? And Grandma's like, well, I had some meatloaf and I got a little sloppy with it.
Just be, truth be told, but I want to tell you, Huntsman, that I finally got you. I told you I would. I told you I would, and I'm your arch nemesis.
And the huntsman looks around and says, "I never heard that before." And he looks over and he sees Mr. Gummery's hat, the purple bowler. Oh no. He figures it out. He says, "Oh no, you're not Grandma. And you killed Mr. Gummery as well." And he takes out his axe, because he's a huntsman, and he chops the wolf up that was pretending to be Grandma. And then he goes out and he has a barbecue, and he invites all the people in the town. And, he got his revenge. He did get his revenge. But here's the kicker. When he was eating the wolf salad, as he was trying to lose weight, there was a bone in there, got stuck in his throat, and died. It was tragic. It was tragic. But everyone else had a good time. So, that's Little Red Riding Hood. See you next time.